Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Fifth Down Show. It's Bill, that college football guy here. Oh my goodness, a recap of Week 9. We had some stuff to get into. First off, people messaged me and asked this. When radio was silent for a few days, didn't do the video on Friday, what happened? Okay. I'm not going to get into particulars per se, but my wife had surgery a few weeks ago. Apparently there was some complications with it. Things happened. I found out Tuesday night. So she went in to see her doctor Wednesday morning, and they scheduled emergency surgery Friday morning. So thanks to my job, I got home Thursday so I could be with her for surgery on Friday. This went on the back burner. I was more concerned with her. I got stuff and they've been taking care of right now. She's resting upstairs. She's been on there basically confined to bed for the next few days, and basically told her that she's not allowed to do anything until it's time to go see for the follow-up Monday morning, which I'm taking her to before I even start my week, which thankfully my company has no problem with. So that's why I was out for a little bit. But we got a video that's going to be coming up this week. We're going to get a recap of the Fifth Down Show, don't we? So first off, right off the jump, congratulations to all the subscriber schools that had victories this week. We're talking Western Kentucky, Boise State, Alabama, Oregon, Miami, BYU, Tennessee, Memphis, Louisville, Washington, Houston, Ohio, North Dakota State, New Mexico, Washington State, Montana, UC Davis, San Diego State, Northern Illinois, Central Michigan, Troy, Wyoming, and Utah. Oh my. Now, we'll start off with our five-star performers. We had a bunch of qualified, but ended up with our top five here. So in fifth place, in the five-star performers, excuse me if you don't know, qualify, you got to be win your game by at least 28 points. And I go it by, how do you determine effective margin? I look at it as yardage. How many yards did you get versus how many yards you gave up? That's the margin shows dominance. All right, in fifth place for the week, Texas Tech, when he beat Oklahoma State 42-0. Oklahoma State, my goodness, that looked terrible. Texas Tech offense had 282 yards passing, 88 yards rushing, 370 yards of total offense. Texas Tech allowed 87 yards passing and 95 yards rushing, 182 yards. Damn impressive defensive performance. Margin was 188 yards. The defense had a sack and two fumble recoveries, one of which was by Jacob Rodriguez. He returned a fumble for 69 yards for a touchdown. And Jacoby Williams had a 99-yard kickoff return for a touchdown to start the game. They were never really in it. It was Oklahoma State was not in, so a good performance by them. Now we're talking about Miami. Although Miami, you also are on this list for something else, because you're also on the hit the gym because of this same performance here. You qualified for this because you had 205 yards passing, we beat Stanford 42-7, 205 yards passing, 199 yards rushing, 404 total yards. Mark Fletcher Jr., 23 carries for 106 yards and 3 touchdowns. Running game was getting it done. Defense allowed 89 yards passing and 55 yards rushing, 144 yards. Damn dominant performance. 260-yard margin. Defense had 2 sacks and 2 interceptions, so that's an awesome performance. Third on the list, we're going to Indiana for destroying Nico Iamaleava and UCLA 56-6. 213 yards passing, 262 yards rushing. Balanced game there, 475 yards. B.J. Williams, 5 receptions, 109 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Why did I mention the quarterback? Got to be at least 200 yards for me to mention he's a quarterback, and it didn't happen there for either one of the two they had playing. The defense, 113 yards passing, 88 yards rushing, 201 yards total allowed. Margin, 274 yards. Defense had 3 sacks, 2 picks, and a fumble recovery, and Aiden Fisher had a 25-yard pick six. Just a dominant performance. Third best in the day. Second best has a special tag to it because the 5-star individual performer of the week is in this game. When North Texas beat up Charlotte 54-20. They were tied at 17 at the half. This was basically I'm just gonna get this one out the way. I'm gonna hit the gym early. Y'all were tied at 17 at half, and Charlotte barely wins any damn games. But y'all kicked it in. It's like 17 at the half. Do the math. They outscored them 37-3. North Texas offense, 146 yards passing. 146 yards rushing. Okay. 608 yards passing. from 754 yards, by far the most. Drew Mestamaker. I hope I'm saying your name right, and I apologize sincerely if I'm getting it wrong. He is your 5-star individual performer of the week. 37 of 49, 608 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, and did have a pick. That's what took his QBR down. Wyatt Young, 9 receptions, 190 yards, and a touchdown. Cameron, I think it's Dormer. I apologize if I'm wrong. 7 receptions, 117 yards, and a touchdown. And Landon Sides, 5 receptions for 114 yards. He spread the wealth around the 608 yards passing, like anybody else had a shot at the 5-star performer of the week. He just nailed that down. The North Texas defense allowed 295 yards passing and 104 yards rushing, 399 yards. The margin's still 355 because they had so much. So that's why it didn't get the best. Defense had 2 sacks, including Ethan Wislowski, 10 tackles on the game. Which is astounding individual defensive performance. That's the second best 5-star performance. But who's number 1? Oh, we're talking about the Utes of Utah when they beat up Colorado 53-7. Utah offense, 165 yards passing. All right. 422 yards rushing. 587 total yards. Let's see, we got Bert Ficklin, 20 carries for 157 yards and a touchdown. Wayshawn Parker, 10 carries, 145 yards and a touchdown. Both just... Damn, if I'm saying the names wrong again, I apologize. Utah defense allowed 102 yards passing and 38 yards rushing, 140 total yards. Margin of 447 yards. They had 7 sacks and a pick. Just dominant performance all around. The 5-star team performance of the week. The Utah Utes when they beat up on Colorado 53-7. Now, next segment, hit the gym. I just talked about North Texas. Another one that I talked about was on the 5-star performers of the week, Miami. Now, when I mentioned on Miami how well you did, y'all fall asleep. Stanford came to you. You didn't go cross country like Florida State did. They came to Miami Gardens. They came to play you. And you were tied at 7 at the half. Now, you outscored them 35-0 in the second half, but y'all sleepwalk? What the hell, you forget where you're at? You know, maybe we're going to give them have a couple cappuccino machines or something, some espresso machines or something to wake your butts up, because that was just a pathetic damn performance. Texas A&M, oh, you think I skipped on you and hit the gym. You beat LSU 49-25. I mean, you had a dominant performance. 49-25. LSU led 18-14 at the half, and you beat them up. Beat them. Oh, my God. You beat them up 35-7 in the second half. Sloppy play. Marcus Reed had 2 picks. I mean, if Marcus Reed and the defense had actually played the way they do and they weren't sloppy, they would have won this game 70-10. So, but lack of focus in the first half. That's just, y'all got to hit. Classroom, that's blaming on coaching. Better classroom coaching. Y'all got to hit the gym on that one. All right, next up on the list, we got the third school. Oh, yes, 3 only. And you thought I missed out on this? The Virginia Cavaliers, playing with fire. You beat North Carolina 17-16 in overtime. North Carolina, who is absolutely terrible. You were tied at the half at 10. Tied at the end of the third. Tied at the end of the fourth. The extra 7 points for Virginia. It was in overtime. No offense. Second half. You're a top 25 team. At least you say you are. In the rankings you show me, in my rankings you are. But the difference in this game was just, I get a stat here. Virginia, 208 yards passing, 59 yards rushing. 259 yards of total offense for Virginia. UNC had 208 yards passing. Well, that's right about what they had. 145 yards rushing, 353 yards. You were outgained by 94 yards and you won. This is playing with fire. You're going to get burned. You're going to play one of these schools that are not on a slump like this, and they're going to beat you up. Y'all got to hit the gym. This is. I'm blaming this on coaching. This is just, jeez. Everybody running stairs. I'd have the coaches running the damn stairs because just, man, what the hell. All right, now, what the blue hell? Maybe the only time they're going to be on here. Cal. What the hell happened to you? You were 5-2. On the road at 2-5 Virginia Tech, and you lost 42-34. You were really never in this game. How can I sum it up? The passing, the defense, everything was kind of similar. What's the story of why they lost? Rushing. Cal, 39 yards rushing. Virginia Tech, 357 yards rushing. Do I need to say anything else? You can't stop the damn run. What the blue hell, Cal? You had a slight, remote chance, small, remote chance of making the ACC championship game. Kiss that goodbye. What the blue hell, Cal? Oh, and I got to say this to him. South Florida. That blew out happened to you. You played Memphis, Memphis showed the fact that if without Brendan Lewis, they aren't that good because they lost with Brendan Lewis out. They were struggling. They probably got to come back when against UAB, and Brendan Lewis comes in and just lights it up. Has a great game. South Florida, you were actually leading 24-14 at the half. 31-17 at the end of 3. You got outscored 17-0 in the 4th. What the blue hell on that alone? I'm not even doing the stats because they're just depressing for how bad you just fell apart in the 4th quarter. Just what the blue hell, South Florida? You had that one won. And the other what the blue hell, because there wasn't that many upsets this week. There really wasn't. And that school beat them. I'm like, okay, so a 3-4 beat a 4-3. Is that really an upset? No, I'm not worried about that. But you have a ranked team going down, like Arizona State losing to Houston. Houston never trailed in this game at all. 10-0 at the end of the half, 24-0 at the end of the 3rd. You also qualified in this game because Arizona State is 24-16. Arizona State scored 16 unanswered points in the 4th quarter to get back in this damn game. You held them off. You also qualify. I did held this one off because you also qualify and hit the gym. Because what the hell happened in the 4th quarter? Y'all ran out of gas. You need to get your cardio going because that seriously sucks. And the fact is that Arizona State had the stats. What I mean by this is that Arizona State, 328 yards passing, 98 yards rushing, 426 total yards. Houston, who won, 206 yards passing, 183 yards rushing, 389 yards. Arizona State outgained them by 37 yards and still lost. ASU, shot you had at the Big 12 title, done. You are done. You are out of the title race. You are not going back to the CFP. No, not with this. No way. What the blue hell, Arizona State. Now, we know about the schools, about the rankings here. I do my cumulative rankings, which is next on the show here. But before we do that, we get into it. Like I do, my cumulative rankings is any school, 3 losses or less qualifies. Once you hit 4, do a cowboy term, you're running the fence. You're on the outside looking in. And we had a bunch of schools involved in things. We had 4 schools already had 4 losses. 1 this week because they didn't want to go the alternative. The alternative is you lose that 5th game. Well, university is not mad. They're just flat out disappointed, which hurts worse than being mad at you. I'm not mad at you. I'm disappointed. That hurts worse. But so that fact is because we're so disappointed, we canceled your plane flight home. There's some buses warming up out front. We're going to take you to the train station. Because your shot at winning the conference championship, doing anything serious, is done. So what schools are now running the fence? Well, I'm going to mention the schools on there because we had 2 of them that was already running the fence and took a 3-loss school and brought them with them. The 2 cases is Washington State, who already had 4 losses, beat Toledo, who had 3 losses. So Washington State stays with 4 losses, and Toledo now runs the fence with them. Another one being Kansas State, who already had 4 losses early in the year, beats Kansas. So now Kansas State has 4 losses. Kansas runs with them. Rutgers, who had 4 losses, beat Purdue. Auburn beat Arkansas. Rice beat UConn. Wyoming beat Colorado State. Shut out Colorado State, 28-0. Y'all just missed being in the Reformers, but you just didn't make the yardage marker because it was just too close together with Colorado State. Score wasn't wide. Yardage margin was close. Yardage was close together. But FIU lost to Kennesaw State. New Mexico State lost to Missouri State. Baylor lost to Cincinnati. Mississippi State lost to Texas. Appalachian State lost to Old Dominion. Buffalo lost to Akron. How'd that happen? Utah State lost to New Mexico. NC State lost to Pitt. Western Michigan lost to Miami of Ohio. Y'all now out of the rankings. You're running the fence. And we have the schools who are officially running the train station with their 5th loss on the season. UCLA, who lost to Indiana. South Carolina lost to Alabama. Syracuse lost to Georgia Tech. Stanford lost to Miami, so no surprising losses here. North Carolina lost to Virginia. Kentucky lost to Tennessee. Michigan State lost to Michigan. That hurt. Bowling Green lost to Kent State. That was a school that already had 5 losses. They brought you down with them. UL Monroe lost to Southern Miss. FAU lost to Navy. Ball State lost to Northern Illinois, who already had 5 losses. They brought Ball State down with them. And Colorado lost to Utah. We had a while back, it was like 99, 100 schools, 101, 110 schools, or like 130 something right now in FBS. Right now the rankings, right now the rankings for this week, we only have 70 schools in FBS that have 3 losses or less. There's only 70 left. We're trimming the list down. I mean, last week was top 5. That's definitely changed with some losses. I mean, Ohio State was 1, Indiana 2, BYU. But Ohio State had a bye and schools 1. So what happened? Remember, the cumulative rankings are that. Cumulative. Take the plays, polls from the weeks, rank them. If you win a game, points get added to your score. If you lose the game, points get deducted. Beating a top 5 school is worth more than beating a top 25, which is worth more than beating a Power 4, which is worth more than beating a G5, which is worth more than beating FCS or lower. Blowout wins 18 or more are worth more than a regular win. Conversely, a blowout loss is worse than a regular loss. An 18 or more loss is worth more, and that's more points taken off. But a close loss to a top 5 is better than losing to a top 25, which is better than beating to a P4, which is better than beating to a G5, which is better than being an FCS or lower. I run FCS Division 2 and Division 3 all in the same group. So, it's a cumulative score for the season. So who's on the poll right now? Well, because Ohio State was off and both of the schools won, we now have a 3-way tie for first place at 40 points. Indiana, Ohio State, and Texas A&M, all 3 tied for first. BYU stands alone in 4th at 36. Georgia Tech stands alone in 5th at 34. In 6th place, a 4-way tie. We're talking Alabama, Oregon, Texas Tech, and Vandy. Yes, Vanderbilt, plus 32 points. 10th place, all by their lonesome, is Ole Miss at plus 30. 11th, tied for 11th at plus 26 is Georgia and Miami. South Florida, oh boy, you took a tumble. That loss to Memphis was already ranked in the cumulative rankings, because I don't go by the AP, I go by the cumulative rankings as top 25. You lost to top 25 schools, so in 13th place at 24 points, Cincinnati, South Florida, and Virginia. In 16th place with the big wins, plus 22 points, Houston and Memphis. 18th place, 3-way tie at 20 points with Notre Dame, Tennessee, and Utah. 21st place, all by the lonesome, jumping in the top 25 is Iowa with a big win. And 22nd place is a 5-way tie. 5-way tie with 16 points. Louisville, Oklahoma, North Texas, Pitt, and Texas. The next 5 in the poll, we're at 27th place, 14 points, plus 14. 7-way tie. James Madison, Missouri, Navy, San Diego State, TCU, USC, and Washington. All tied up. And the only other 2 schools out, after that, it doesn't really get any big ties. The next biggest one's like at 42nd, I think. That's how far down Minnesota went. Plus 2. So, list is getting narrower, folks. So, I've done enough running my mouth now. Joey had a hell of a week right now. Not really that many marquee games. Next week, different story. But thanks everybody for watching the video. Really appreciate it. If you haven't done it already, do me the favor. Smash the like button, hit the thumbs up. Helps the algorithm. This video be seen by more people. Comment on the video. Your 5-star performer. Who do you think needs to hit the gym? If I'm right, I missed somebody. Let me know. What the blue hell? Bring that up in the comments section. The top 25. I'm going to go through it again without the points. You tell me what you think here. Number 1, 3-way tie between Indiana, Ohio State, and Texas A&M. Number 4 is BYU. Number 5 is Georgia Tech. 4-way tie to number 6, Alabama, Oregon, Texas Tech, and Vandy. And number 10, Ole Miss. Tie with number 11 is Georgia and Miami. 3-way tie at number 13 with Cincinnati, South Florida, and Virginia. Tie at number 16 with Houston and Memphis. 3-way tie at 18 with Notre Dame, Tennessee, and Utah. Number 21 is Iowa all by themselves, and a 5-way tie for number 22 with Louisville, Oklahoma, North Texas, actually they're out of order, Pitt, and Texas. Next 5 in, they're 27, a 7-way tie actually. Next 5, 20, usually 26 through 30. Ranked 27, 7-way tie, James Madison, Missouri, Navy, San Diego State, TCU, USC, and Washington. They're on the outside looking in. Let me know what you think about that down in the comments. Share the video if you want to. And if you haven't done it already, check out some of the other videos that I've done. If you like them, hey, subscribe to the channel. Really would appreciate it. On the road to 2K, trying to make some magic happen. If you want to follow me on X, the link is in the description. So again, thanks everybody. I'm having a great Monday. Tomorrow, college football playoff scenario. I've been talking about it on X. They're talking about the 2018 playoff and everything else. A lot of people, what should happen. I'm going to talk about what could happen that could help the G5, the G6 conferences. Get more representation if you're willing to play ball. Because if you played ideology and what's fair, you could lose it all. I'll explain that tomorrow. So thanks everybody for watching. Everybody's having a great day. Be safe and please be good to each other.